Okay, so moving on to the next match, it is going to be the Kuala Lumpur Hunters versus Armageddon. So we've just seen Armageddon.
Yes, we're going to see them again.
Do you think we're going to see Smite this time around?
I hope so, man. Not two Smites, but
maybe
not
okay. Let's not to not be too disparaging about this. Smite is necessary. I mean,
crucial.
Yes. Mainly for the fact that the Dragon steals, the Baron steals, even the red and the blue, you know, they're going for the Golems, the Lizard, etc. It's so crucial. A crucial part of the jungler. And, you know, I know there's a lot of, there's probably junglers out there that probably don't run it. They probably, like, think there's some magical meaning for not having it, having something else. I don't know, some people will have Ignite Exhaust for some reason. But you've got to have Smite.
You got to have Smite because it's not only stealing buffs, it's not only objectives. I mean, you just clean the jungle fast. Imagine you are Maokai. How do you jungle if you gank top, for instance? Okay, you try to have the control of the golems, for instance. How you have the control of the golems? Without a Smite, you cannot have the control of the golems. You ward the opposite red, the opposite blue buff. How are you going to steal that? I mean, everything counts, and the jungle clearing time is extremely important because if without a Smite, obviously you're going to be under level, obviously you're going to have less map control. Everything counts, man. Smite is probably the most crucial spell of the game. You cannot play with a Smite as jungle at all.
Indeed. And there's no other way around it. There's no other way you can pronounce that. So we're going to be thinking Kuala Lumpur Hunters coming into this one clean favourites.
Yeah.
The question is, can they do it in 13 minutes?
And that's the time to beat. Well, the other question is Carthus actually going to hit 3 mana crystals this time around? Because he was clearly building up for that. There was a lot of money in it. I don't know. I do like that Armageddon actually, you know, they're showing up, they're actually playing it. They must not feel too great right now, and probably we shouldn't be making that much fun of them, but they at least do show up here. What I would like to see, though, is can Kuala Lumpur Hunters show the same amount of discipline that Elohel just showed? Because Elohel, you said it, other teams might have started trolling or doing nonsense.
They didn't.
They played this so perfectly. I just want to talk about one little moment that I saw, that there was a dive that Grace Leona did under tower, where they passed off tower aggro so perfectly. They baited out the exhaust from Nunu onto Leona, at which point, at exactly that point, Grace was like, well then, I can now just go in and kill him. And they just played with so much discipline. They never said, oh, we are just stomping these low elo noobs. No, they're like, we are playing this game perfectly, and I hope to see the same thing from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, they focused on the fact that it's a tournament game. It's got to be serious, regardless of how it turns out. You can only play what's in front of you.
I'm not sure how does it work if two teams are tied. Is it like timing thingy, the gaming time?
We'd have to get a ruling from the referee, but I believe the IEM usually goes by game time.
Used to be time, yeah. I remember in Wanzhou, when we played at the SK in the group phase, 20 seconds decided us going through.
Is that the Guangzhou?
Yeah. 20 seconds decided us to go through.
And it was IG that lost out, I believe, in that one.
And I remember, oh my god, that was so crazy, man. I remember the last moments in the game. We did the calculations before the game, okay? And in the middle of the game, we just forgot about it. Okay, forgot about it totally. And I said, dude, oh my god, you just forgot about it. We were in base. It was like 2 minutes and a half or something like that. And I said, okay. They were like, okay, go Baron. No, go Baron. Just go finish the game right away, because otherwise we're out. And we were able to finish because they mispositioned, basically. So
just ran straight up mid.
Yeah, literally. Wow. Oh my god, I remember that moment. I get goosebumps, man, honestly.
20 seconds deciding that you actually went to the semi. That was pretty clutch.
Oh yeah, to decide whether you're going to get through or not. I think you finished third in that.
We finished third.
Third it was, yeah. It was World Elite.
It was first team was World Elite, then CLG, then SK, then AAA. I think it was. Probably.
Yeah. No, AAA didn't make it into the semis, I think. It was another Chinese team.
I don't know, it was the French guys.
Millennium.
Was Millennium probably,
yes, but with Kuja, of course.
Yeah, with Kuja, I remember
Kuja
that,
yeah. I remember that. That was a fun little tournament as well.
Intel Extreme Masters history right there. So, I mean, it's League of Legends has held its place in Intel Extreme Masters pretty much for the last year and a half now, I guess. Starting out, you were at one of the very first ones at the original CBIT.
I was at the very first, it was early 2011. It was in February, March 2011.
That's it, yes.
I was there with Freak casting the whole thing. Freak actually fell asleep on me. So my first cast was Freak. Not kidding. To be honest, he
What,
was
during the
completely jet lagged.
cast?
Yes, 8 hours of casting. Last game, he was sitting next to me, and we had an agreement that he would do the team fights, right? And I was like, I want to try a team fight. So I'm casting a team fight. I'm super happy that Freak is letting me cast a team fight. Like, yeah, and I did a good job too. And I turn around, I hand over to him. I look at him and like,
He's actually asleep
Actually
during
asleep,
casting.
yeah.
You
I
shouldn't
would
have
never
said
do
that,
that.
man. You shouldn't have said that.
Good. It's okay, like 2,000 people saw it back then. Yeah, that was we were just a promotional match back then, and Fnatic, there was
Time to go.
Fnatic won that one, but under the name of My Revenge still against AAA. That was the very first IEM that League of Legends was at, and then of course
SK and Fnatic were born from there as well, I believe.
SK was around before that already. SK was there, but they didn't do so
Where?
well. At the
This is
Seabed.
way back.
Seabed, we
Yeah.
finished 5th of the world. Is good enough?
No,
No,
I mean,
no, the Seabed
2010
before that,
this is-
2011.
2011.
Yes.
Yeah, long time ago.
2011. We finished 3rd.
Third, yes.
Yeah,
it was
third.
it was My Revenge, AAA,
AAA.
SK, and then Dignitas.
That's it.
The old European.
Oh, the old
Dignitas.
original
Yeah,
Dignitas,
yeah.
right. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So there you go. They're talking to you. The Kuala Lumpur Hunters are saying hello.
Jay Jung
Ocelot.
is saying
So
hello.
we are getting into the picks and bans. It is going to be the Kuala Lumpur Hunters versus Armageddon. And as the
If I see a Warwick man,
I was going to say that. I was like, that is too mean. I can't do that. Thank you very much.
oh, so Blitzcrank ban coming
Alright.
in there for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Are we expecting to see the generic bans here? I guess so.
Yeah, there's nothing that much else you can do, right? There's nothing to
I
know
guess.
about this team. Right. Malphite ban, another standard ban. You said it. Malphite and Blitzcrank are probably the playmakers. Lee Sin pretty good as well. Hercubot plays a really good Lee Sin, doesn't
yeah,
he?
he's really good. Listen,
I
he's really
really
good
enjoy
with
watching him.
Shinzao as well.
Xin Xiao.
Xin
Xin Xiao. Great. Xin Xiao Warwick. Xin Xiao Warwick.
Well,
Learn
Warwick.
something.
I mean, you know what? They're learning here. Armageddon,
Mm.
they don't want to play against Graves in that bottom lane again. They were not happy with that one.
And a Twisted Fate, another playmaker actually. Somebody else who can just port all over the map, just appear somewhere.
Face more like
I would have banned
I think it's a
Katarina
lot of
myself if I
control.
was Armageddon there.
Yeah.
It didn't work out too well for them.
Well-
Shen snuck through this time.
Ah, that's true.
yeah, but on the other hand, Shay is a control hero. Same for Tia. They are.
Mm.
They have to be. You have to have the game under control to make Shen and
Ah,
Tia
see.
work. It's gonna be a crazy game, like with Katarina, with Diana and stuff. I mean, those are crazy games, you know.
Oh, we got Darius snuck
Darius.
in there. So we're going to
Well,
see
they
whether...
banned Darius. I remember I remember
Last game,
Elo
yeah.
Hell banned Darius.
Yeah. So maybe that's something that they've got tucked in there. They have got Smite selected this time as well.
That's good. They learn. They learn. We were making fun of them. Maybe it
Maybe,
was
yeah.
actually a mistake, and they just didn't want to remake because they think, well, we are a noob team here. We don't want to force the pros to remake. Something like that. Maybe they were just being polite.
Actually, they might. It might have happened.
Yes, it's possible.
Who knows? Who
Oh.
knows? So it's going to be Ezreal and Tarek
Mm.
locked in for the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, but you can see the bird
Yeah.
is the word
And-
currently for Armageddon.
And Nivea, especially if you're maybe not as
Bird.
skilled as the other guy in mid lane, and Nivea is pretty hard to play to her full potential, isn't she, Ursula? Wouldn't you say?
I
knowing
find other
when to
champions
wall-
harder actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the skill cap is high, but there are other champions that the skill cap is high,
Okay.
more higher.
Higher.
Basically.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, I was thinking about something else.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else, you know, that's why.
It
Right.
wasn't someone walking past or anything, was it?
A girl, did you see?
Yeah.
I saw Carmack. I just have eyes for Carmack.
Come on.
Just got eyes for Carmack. Diana being locked in this time was banned in the last match, so Nocturne as well in the jungle. So Kuala Lumpur Hunters set themselves out. Wukong was the last pick for Armageddon, who is going to be the final pick. And looking at the team comps, what are you thinking here?
Dive buddy, huh? For Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Nocturne going in, Shen ulting onto him. That's a pretty devastating combo if that works. And off the back of that, of course, Diana can go
Thank you
in as
very
well.
much.
You're welcome.
Shen works pretty well with melee assassins in mid lane.
Right, yeah.
He was really, really good because obviously they go in, if they go in with a shield and suddenly a guy pops out, yo, I'm Shen, I taunt you all.
Right. We'll have to see how good their coordination actually is, Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They didn't look so great in the game against Elohel, but there may have also been a bit of a skill
Setup.
mismatch there. Yeah, this is the
Setup.
setup thing as well, yeah. So we'll have to see, because the point that you just raised is great, but the Shen needs to know how to react in time. And that's, of course, team coordination. And the final pick here, Vayne, I would say, I mean, I'm going out on a limb here again, I might be completely wrong again, but mechanically, one of the harder AD carries, isn't she?
Yeah, for me, I find pretty fun playing Vayne as AP.
Yeah,
Me as AP. Yeah, I find pretty fun because it's just different as well the 80s.
All right then.
So I think that is the picks, ladies and gentlemen, done and dusted. So over to the not so cool desk.
There we are.
Not so cool.
No, they're clearly cooler than us because they're doing the casting in the game. It is Joe Miller
bosses.
and Jason. But I love you, Kaplan.
Thank you very much, Demon. And again, Jason, you will have a silly name. What should I say?
It's memorable.
So I've actually got a little bit of information that we've not really disclosed up until now about Armageddon. Now, they came into this tournament as a last-minute replacement team. You know, we wanted to fill the spots, bring some local teams in here as well. And actually, Armageddon are a Dota 2 team.
Yeah.
This is a team that actually, in a Southeast Asian competition, lost 2-1 against Team Zenith, who actually finished top 5 in the International 2, which was their big tournament of the year. So they're actually a really good Dota 2 team. Does it transfer straight into League of Legends? We saw in game number 1 that it certainly doesn't look that way. Game number 2, I am praying, at least for the sake of watching a good game, that this one will be a little bit different. But anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of the two teams. On the blue side for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, we have Hagane on Tariq, Jae-Young on Ezreal, Golden on Diana, Don Murray on Nocturne, and Monkeys on Shen. And over on the other side, for Armageddon, we have Kitty on Nunu, Taichi on Darius in the jungle. We have Barney Stinson, otherwise known as P, on Anivia, Aratil on Wukong, and Insidious on Vayne.
Oh, no,
so
Joe.
we are seeing an invade coming out here from Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They are going to get the stun down onto Darius, and he is not escaping this one. There is first blood coming in for Shen. Kitty forced to flash away. And KLH, well, the start doesn't get much better than that, I suppose, unless you get another 2, 3, 4, an ace maybe at level 1. But they're looking like they will be able to start off doing the Wolves and then the Blue, which would already be more jungle creeps taken in that first minute than Armageddon did in the last one.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true. And I'm trying to see that we have Darius Tyke actually going cloth armor again. 5 pots, not going for boots. He does have exhaust this time, so his ganks will be pretty deadly when he hits level 6. Although we saw last game, I mean, it took him 13 minutes to hit level 6, if he even did. I honestly don't remember if he did. But, I mean, Vayne, as our not-so-cool analysis desk was saying, very hard AD champion to play. Very high skill set.
Certainly harder than Ashe.
Yeah, and one thing I have to say, Joe, we have an Anivia, so guess what we get to say?
We get to see the Jason Kaplan egg. So anyway, blue buff is going to be spawning here in just a couple of seconds, and we have Don Murray and the bottom lane, plus Diana putting a bit of damage down from the backside as well. Darius was actually hanging around there, decided by the looks of things to back off towards his turret. Obviously, at this level of play, what would normally happen, he could steal it if he came close enough for it. But what would normally happen at this level of play is the jungler would go to the other side of the jungle, give that one up, maybe even look for an invade. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, we are going to see a push in towards a kill. They did get away from that one. But again, that's a flash burnt from Vayne. So very vulnerable, as actually needs to be really careful again. As soon as that Tariq stun comes up off its refresh, and again, look how far pushed out he is. I mean, it doesn't really take that much damage. I mean, obviously Ezreal doesn't quite have his arcane shift just yet, but that won't take too much time here with the way that he's taking down these minions until he can get in there to maybe get this kill off. And what's he gone for? As there is the arcane shift, point number 2. So they are ready to pick up more kills, Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Yeah, as analysis was saying earlier, I mean, Kuala Lumpur Hunters have a very dive-heavy team with that Shen. I mean, you can pretty much dive anyone, especially with Golden. I mean, as they're saying, melee assassins, even though she's AP, is just so deadly, especially with that Moonfall. So we'll probably see a couple of those ganks happening. But Shen not having too much problems. Monkey's in this top lane. He's 11 CS to 6 right now. Darius is coming to that top lane with that red buff, but is spotted by a ward. So he's definitely going to need to back away from that. But overall, I mean, or is he? As he's coming in right now.
Yeah, Taichi actually moving in there, and, well, you saw Monkey's completely safe with that one. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, this is where this action's going to go off, I think, with these stuns coming out from Tariq, and then Ezreal following in with as much damage as he possibly can.
Top lane, Joe.
Oh, top lane, yeah, they are diving in. And there are actually 2 of them there for Armageddon, both of them going very, very low. As we are
good Ignite.
Aratal, yeah, did have Ignite to use, but decided against it. Not going for it just yet. But we've got to keep an eye, as a cameraman, I think you've got to keep your eyes very wide open for a game like this. Already this bottom turret taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Nocturne coming around. He's actually going to flash in for the kill. And this, with that fear down, is going to be a kill picked up there for Don Murray inside of the jungle. Anivia not reacting at all to come up maybe to help a little bit.
It would have been too late.
Decides against it, yeah.
As I always mention, I mean, when you're a jungler, you never want to die pre-anything. I mean, to be honest, you always want to keep those double buffs. If you transform over, it just sets you so far behind. And I mean, he doesn't have any GP10, still sitting on cloth armor, only has about 200 gold on him to spend, so he can't even get an item. And I mean, his map presence is completely gone now as well.
And I keep hearing these pings all over the place from players going into low HP, as we are going to see Shen moving in there on towards Aratil. Will actually clone away, decoy away, and he will be safe, at least for now. And he's going to try and actually get back here. I don't think Shen will be able to push that lane out quite fast enough to get in there and stop him recalling. But in this bottom lane, we are going to see a kill coming in there for Vayne. And that will bring us back to 2 versus 1. And in the jungle, God, it's happening absolutely everywhere from this one. Golden will take down Taishi, so that brings their 2-kill advantage back around. Let's have a look at the CS now that we hopefully get a little bit of quiet time. I say that, but it may not quite work out that way. So 36-12 in the top lane, 12-4 in the jungle, 32-18 in the middle lane, 36-14 in that bottom lane. Obviously, we did see the support player going down there, the Taric, but at the end of the day, not the end of the world for them. So
that's the thing, though. You can't get comfortable. You can't get comfortable playing so aggressive as looks like Vayne. Yeah, will in fact go down. So another kill going over.
Yeah,
potentially. But I mean, he's just pushing up the lane right now. Ezreal, he's 41 CS to 15 on Vayne.
Yeah, but Nocturne's here as well. They're going to go for the dive on this one, Kuala Lumpur Hunters. And, yep, you can try and portal home Nunu, but it's not quite going to go that way. As Ezreal will pick up another one. That is him now up to 2-0-1. Where's the action going to go down next, Joe? That's the question. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, but I was trying to say that, Tarek. I mean, you can't really like take for granted how far ahead you are as you saw him die. I mean, giving away kills like that can be extremely deadly. But then again, it's just a support, so it's not really bad. I mean, you'll get set behind in terms of XP and gold, but I mean, he should be completely fine very soon. Sitting on 600 gold, so he can easily get that Field of Stone when he backs, actually very shortly. And Golden coming in the top lane. This should be a double kill, to be honest.
And here we go. Golden going to push right in there. Actually, Wukong is right in the middle of them as well, as we do see Darius going very, very low. Not quite finished off, but there it is. The finisher from Diana. And that is another kill going the way of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Just to quickly mention, after this game, we are going to be having Elo Hell versus Absolute Legends. That'll be on the main stage they're actually setting up right now, as Monkeys will get ignited. And, well,
they pretty much just all got blocked by Vayne, to be honest, right there. But bot lane, I mean, they are pretty much freezing the lane, which is exactly what they need to be doing. They're CSing just freely currently. But then you have a Taric and Ezra roaming now, which is the big problem. At the top lane, Joe Monkey. Ooh, that Ignite will pick him up. Yes. Yes, it does, Joe.
Yes, it does, Jason. Yes, it does. 7-1. And in this middle lane now, we may see some pressure coming down onto Anivia, who didn't get egged up until now. Does have that rebirth still available. But, I mean, Darius in the jungle, he's got 7 CS. He's 0-4-0. He's got nothing to offer right now. I mean, if you look at his summoner spells, he's got that exhaust in there, which... No, it's probably not going to give him that much to work from. And now Anivia getting chased down. They want to zone her out of this turret range. And, well, that turret is going to go down. There's a stun onto Anivia, and they are all on top of her. Actually did manage to flash just before the egg, which kept her alive for a couple of seconds longer, but no more than that.
Nunu almost getting caught right there as he's running around. Actually might get caught trying to go in behind Kuala Hunters, but he just turns around. I want to hear him laugh, because, I mean, with the Nunu bot skin, you have to do it. You have to spam as much as possible. Looks like they actually are going to chase him here.
And more than chase, they're going to dive right on top of him. Actually, Don Murray not really going to fear because,
didn't have the manas.
Didn't really have the mana and actually didn't really need to once that Taric was in there as well. That will bring us to a 9-1 lead, but 8 minutes and 20, I don't think they're going to manage a 13-minute game to beat that record.
You really went down that road, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I mean, honestly, it's a record that everyone will know, so it's kind of cool. Even if it's for something like that. But they are pushing on this mid lane now, going for the second tier turret, and should have no problem getting it. I mean, we see Wukong not level 6, we see Vayne actually level 6 right now, and as well as Anivia, but that's it.
Yeah, and they're going to go in for this one. We are going to see Anivia dropping down. There is Darius going low and finished off. Next target is going to be Wukong, who will ulti in there, but that's not going to give him too much to work with. There is a kill for Shen onto Wukong. Taric did die again. They need to report this Taric after the game for feeding. 2-0 now, as we are going to see Vayne, well, troubled somewhat, as they do decide to flash him there, finish it off. Well, not for long, that's for sure at least. Obviously, Nunu not going to be able to do much against this team that are pushing in, although Kuala Lumpur Hunters not super healthy right now, so I'm guessing with their oodles of gold, yeah, everyone over 1,000 there, going to go back. Actually, Tarek just picking up, got double GP10, picking up a cloth armor, getting some wards in there. There's a Razor for Nocturne, double door and shield for Shen,
Yeah, looks
who's
like they're just buying
also
up to
got the
finish.
Ionic Spark. Yeah, they're going to be trying to finish this one. But
Like stack as many irons as you can
3.5
right now.
minutes, Jason, is what
Can
they
they
have.
do it? What do you think, Jack? Can they do it? I mean, they have an inhibitor turret, they have an inhibitor, and then 2 Nexus turrets.
Well, it's always possible. I mean, are they going to go for it? That's the only thing
Yeah, that's the
they
real
really
question.
need to say. Are they going to wait, play it a bit safer or not? I'm not really sure about that one. But I guess we're going to find out in the not too distant future of this one. Obviously, I don't want to beat around the bush with this one at all, Jason. This is a game between a team that is on the top level in Southeast Asia against a team that doesn't play League of Legends on, well, any kind of top level.
Right.
You know, they play their Dota 2 team. They've come in here to fill the numbers, see what they could do. And they can't be too unhappy with really how it's gone for them. I mean, when they're not really full-time players in League of Legends, what can they expect from that one? As Wukong will go down, Monkeys is now unstoppable, and you can see the damage there directly coming in on towards Anivia, who still doesn't have Rebirth up, so will be a prime target for Kuala Lumpur Hunters as they start to push in. And there is the kill from Golden, who is now dominating 6-0-5. Inhibitor turret goes down. Inhibitor itself will follow as well. And I'm sure that they're just going to keep pushing. I mean, look at Darius. Half of his health pretty much gone from that single attack of Diana. And they've got 2 minutes, Jason. They've got 2 minutes to get this record. If they dive, they can take it. As here we go, pressure coming in on towards Wukong. Will actually manage to get his decoy off. And may even get himself back towards the turret, or not, as he goes back in towards Shen. Diana finishes that one off. But Vayne actually pushing in hard here. There's the first Nexus turret going down. 11.5 minutes. They've got the time to beat that record. There's a stun on Vayne. And there is the second Nexus turret going down as well. Nexus now being focused as well. And they are going to have this one. There's the flash ulti out of Kitty on Nunu. But it's not quite enough. They're on half HP here on the Nexus. They're all going low, but they've managed to survive it. Nexus is now being focused, and they are going to beat the record of Elo Hell. 11 minutes and 50 seconds, I guess, by the time it ends out. 19-3 in the end. You can see there Kuala Lumpur Hunters on your screen. Job done.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really say anything bad about Armageddon. Like you said, they're a Dota 2 team, and they get to come to an awesome event. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which I might be, they win prize money even in 8th place, correct? Like, even if they're
I'm
towards
not
the bottom?
100% sure about that. I think you have to finish not bottom.
Okay.
I'm
Well, I
not
mean,
100% sure though, but you know, came here as a team that were not even underdogs. I don't think we could even call them that coming into this, as a team that don't even really play League of Legends, certainly on no serious level as we've seen.
Right.
So you know, they've come here, they've had their experience. What that means for them next, I guess, is really anyone's guess.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I had a chance to play a game at an event that I had no idea about or I didn't play often, I would take it just because it's an experience. It's fun. It's good times.
Well, maybe not so great times for them as they went 0 for 2. They still have to play Absolute Legends, and who I'm
Who
sure
beat
from
Kuala
their
Lumpur
point
Hunters.
of view, 11 minutes and 51 seconds is their time to beat in that third game. But we are going to throw it over to the analysis desk, and those guys are going to break down that game.
Yes, thank you very much. And let's break down that game. I mean, Ocelot, what is your opinion of the key moment of that game right now?
I heard you, Dimon.
Thank you for not choosing me.
Well, the game, I mean, we knew who was going to win.
We knew who was going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
basically.
they had a goal, and they got it. They beat the 13-minute game. Apparently, Quickshot and Panky have had a quicker game. They reckon they've had an 8 or 9 minute game.
Actually, think about
online.
this. Think about this. If we are talking about time, you know, second and third team, if they are tied, is there any chance for them to be tied at all?
Well, there may be. Who knows? I mean, Kuala Lumpur Hunters have obviously got to play yet. They've lost to
in
ALNA.
that case,
But they've got to play
then
Elo Hell.
we might have a problem here
It might
because
be a crazy time.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if they are beating this team quite easily, and
We should get a ruling from the referees on that, because I think the time that actually matters is the time between the two teams that are tied.
The two teams that are tied.
So
yeah.
yeah,
well, it's
I don't-
sometimes
It's a long time.
It is done on
It is
time.
done on
It is
time,
done
but
on
it's going to
time.
be the two teams that are tied. So I don't think these games really matter all that much, to be honest.
Well, I mean, obviously the results between each other is going
Yes.
to matter. And
so
you know what, that game, it was much ado about nothing. We kind of knew it was going to happen.
yeah,
Absolute Legends have certainly got a goal they can aim at for when they play them. You know, that's maybe the fun target they can aim with. But Armageddon, you know, they've saw, they've got their asses kicked. There's no other way about it.
let's not mince words. I think we're not even mincing words.
No, we're not- we're not mincing words.
Yeah,
So
they
that
just got their behinds
Yeah.
handed to them. And we have a jump to a random moment in the game. I don't even know if this is a highlight reel or not, but we can watch some pretty gameplay.
He's got something
give
lined
us
up
some,
for us.
Give us some play-by-play.
There's not much
that's
point
it,
giving a
that's it.
play-by-play. It's analyse what exactly happened here, because
Alright.
you've managed to line it up. Ocelot.
Okay, so here the game was over already. They just engaged Wukong. Wukong is dead.
Yep.
And now they freely push the tower 5v3.
Look at the damage on
Look at the
Anivia.
damage on the Q. Is like
Yep.
5 lives of Anivia. And that's basically it.
So you basically, that was what you were like when you went 5v1 in the jungle.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
That was the lane.
I'm actually pretty sure that that Diana could have won before at least.
Yes.
I think it's entirely possible. I mean, you do get these moments, and these are the good moments in the game when you.
I
When
mean,
you
this is
are
even a
feeling
better
that strong.
record. This is even a better record.
Yeah,
I'm
it
happy.
is. It is actually. And look, they are still playing it safe. Now we're going to see a little bit of a dive there onto the monkey, who does get away for a moment. But,
Oh, that was a nice juke, man.
Diana.
That's I don't have to juke, I'd say.
yeah, it was a pretty good juke. Diana did miss her cue as well, but there she is. And then I think KLH were actually looking at the time at this point. They're like, come on, guys, we can do this. We can do this.
We can do this.
Because
Yeah.
they are pushing really,
And
really hard.
that's the
here.
game.
Well, I mean, that's like you discussed when you're in that moment, and it must have been what
Yeah.
they've gone through. They must have been beat that time.
Yes,
They must have been
absolutely.
watching it. But nevertheless, that was that, and that is Kuala Lumpur Hunters picking up their first win of the tournament, and Armageddon going 2-0-2. So Elo Hell versus Absolute Legends is the next match, and that's the big
That's the big
important one. That's one of the big games of this group.
Yep.
And following that, I'm pretty sure we're going to have Kuala Lumpur Hunters versus Elo Hell. So these are the next two games are the big games of the group. They're going to be the deciders for who makes it through.
Do we still have 2 games? Is that
Yeah, those two
Oh,
are
yeah,
playing at the
right.
same
Mhm.
time, but we're ignore. I think
right?
we're pretty confident we're not going to show Absolute Legends versus Armageddon.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain
Yeah.
of that point
It
right
would
now.
be nice at this point.
Elo Hell versus Absolute Legends. So big match coming up straight away.
I'm
What
so
are we
looking forward for
favoriting?
this game, actually.
I'm actually looking forward to this game as well.
Because Elo Hell, we've seen them, but we've not really seen them in an actual match yet. And Overpower just got to roam free with his
Yeah.
Katarina, which made Joe and Jason very happy because they like saying Katarina. But I want to see what he can actually do against a really strong opponent, against an actually coordinated team there. And you've been telling us a little bit about his his unorthodox picks. Can you give us some examples of what you've seen Overpower play?
Many different things, most of them with TP. I've seen him playing Zed mid lane.
Okay.
I played against him. I think, Katarina.
Okay.
We beaten them, but he did fairly good. I've seen him playing APG. He plays a really good APG. But after the DFG nerf, he kind of stopped playing him, and then he played an AP ADG, mix it out, which works pretty well. I've tested it myself, and it works really well.
Really?
Yeah, you go Yomu's Ghostblade first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go full AP. Believe me, it works.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
No, believe me, it works because in laning phase, it's ridiculous. Like when you got the double hit, you just jump with Q, double hit with the popped up with brutalizer, boom boom.
Is that something that we've learned from Mac Noon in the past? That
Did we? Oh yeah,
But
okay.
Dude
Yeah.
just dunks. He just dunks.
Dunks and dives with everything. So yeah, Absolute Legends, they're coming into this one. They are 1-0 up. They had a good result against the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, who we just saw there, who beat Elo Hell's record at speed time.
Yep.
It's like a speed run.
A speed run,
It's like
yes.
recording a speed run. How quick you can beat a team. But what are we expecting? I mean, this is kind of like the first big test for both teams, isn't it? I mean, Absolute Legends coming into this one. Are they going to be tired? Are they going to be jet lagged? Elo Hell coming into this one. It's going to be for Elo Hell. It's around about 7 in the evening for them right now. So that's the time I think they can work with. Whereas Absolute Legends, they're starting to come into their late night time. If they were an American, you know, LA if I'm looking at New York time, it's 1 a.m. New York right now.
Mhm.
So I don't know where these guys come from in America, but they're going to start getting to the late period. But then again, being gamers, they're probably used to being late
Yeah.
gamers.
I think there's one factor we should also mention is that Elohel aren't playing with their full lineup at
They
the
are
moment.
not, yes.
Yeah, NZQ apparently was not able to come out to Singapore, so they have Woolite as the substitute for him. So I don't know how much that is going to factor in. Maybe even if Woolite is at the same mechanical skill level as NCQ, and you recognize the name Woolite from solo
Yeah,
queue.
yeah, I know him a lot.
The question still remains: how much does it affect the team chemistry that they don't play together with the team?
What
that they
position is he?
Is AD carry?
Here's the idiot. Oh, that's quite a big role to be changing out last minute.
I think AD carry, unless you're Ashi, I mean, obviously you need to have this synergy with the support.
Mhm.
But if it's just good enough, should be fine. If you are Ashi, obviously you need this. You need to start fights. You need, it's just different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of team play involved. But being AD carry, I don't think AD carry is one of those roles that actually
It's not
relies
gonna
so much. Yeah.
Not going to fully carry the
Mm.
game until late game,
Yeah.
as if it were. But it's the positioning is a big key. And if
Yeah.
the rest of the team
The-
are not confident,
I
in
mean,
the
the guy's
positioning,
good with it. The guy is good
yeah.
positioning himself, and he's actually really known for his Olaf jungle. By the way,
Woolite,
yeah,
really?
he's really good with it. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe they'll switch it up.
I
There
don't
is
think
one
so.
of the teams actually we've seen recently. Who was the team? I'm going to have to scratch and think of my name.
Eclipse, yeah.
It's alternate.
Eclipse did it as well.
Yeah.
The Eclipse did it as well, didn't they? Tails and Lane. They switched.
They went cocky because they
The-
were winning too
the
much
Rady and the
lately and
junglers
stuff.
switched round.
They winning too much lately, so they
Mhm.
swap positions because they feel good and stuff.
On
Is that why they did it?
Badasses.
I think my favorite position swap still, and I have to bring this up, was of course Curse EU in Poland. That was pretty good. Where
Oh,
Extinct was running
oh.
his vein.
Yeah, people tends to troll against us, and they win.
And it works.
And then they
It
play good and they
works.
lose. I don't know. It's just strange,
And it was Maluno with the Annie in mid lane, and he
Oh,
did
God.
really
He did really
well.
good, yeah.
That Annie
Really
that
good.
did
Was
damage
that
to you.
AD Annie?
No, it was a plain old AP Annie, but
AP
played by the
Annie.
jungler.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
if
because why
AD
not?
Annie beats me, man, I just quit the game.
That is
No
a challenge to
chance.
you, the internet.
Yeah. AD Annie beat me mid lane, I quit the game.
All right, make it happen, solo queue.
Someone somewhere is going to be playing that
You're
next
gonna
time.
be trolled one of
Pretty
these
sure.
days.
Keep your eye on that stream.
Actually,
I'm sure it'll happen.
we have a writer who plays AD Annie in the jungle, so yeah.
But it's a possibility too. But don't forget, guys, if you have questions for us, other than questions about how we're going to analyze a 12-minute game, go to hashtag IEM. We are looking at it. I'm going to have a look at it, see if there's any questions over there at the moment. I'm not really seeing.
Well,
No, don't worry. I'll just do it right now.
Carmack is asking if you dissed Ocelot on stream, and I would say no. I think it's all in the spirit of love here. It's a little exchanges that we
Yeah.
have. This is the cool kids this. This is not the hateful
Yeah,
kids
it's a
this.
cool kid, says.
Yes.
Then
Cool
it's my
kids make-
turn to harass him.
There we go.
It's all good.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Absolute legends coming into this one. I think are possibly the favourites coming into this game, mainly for the fact they already have that 1-0 up against Column Hunter, so they have that confident play. That's probably one of the teams they were looking at this group and thinking, okay, they're one of the rivals, these are the other ones. So if they can win this game, I think they're going to be pretty confident they can beat Armageddon right now.
Yeah, that goes without saying. But I think that Elohel versus AL is just absolutely too close to call. These two teams have absolutely not had any touching points in the past. And I think this one is completely up in the air. And it is actually, I have to say that the first match that I'm really, really keenly looking forward to. So I can't wait for this to start and see how this will go. AL, if they win this, I think they can be pretty happy and they will pretty much have the group at that point. We'll have to see. Obviously, Elohel are also out to prove themselves in their first proper game. So we'll see how that factors in. I've been sitting with Elohel a little bit earlier today and just chatting with them.
They're pretty confident.
They feel
We're
very
like,
confident.
we're gonna win today.
Yeah, no,
gonna win.
but they're not
today.
even joking about it. They're like, yeah, of course, we're coming in here. We are the favorites of the group. We are going to win this easy, basically. They didn't say easy, but you know,
GG
It looked like they said
you got that
easy.
vibe. You got that vibe from
You
them.
don't want to go down the GG
And
easy
never
route.
say GG easy, especially if Emir is in your game. He will tear your head off. It is true. Do that when you if you, next time you play a game with
Next time
Emir,
I play
just
Ymir?
GG easy. Yes,
He's a big
You'll get
guy.
banned.
He's a big guy. I wouldn't want him to tear my head off.
Yeah.
He is a big guy. It's actually probably possible he could.
He could, yeah.
He could. He's from Stoke. It's possible. These things happen. But enough nationalist jokes aside.
We got the hashtag thingy just to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure, like,
Yeah, if you are watching, guys, remember, ask questions. Ask us anything.
anything.
You've done your ask me anything. You should be feeling pretty confident right now. You've got all them questions out of the way.
Yeah.
Myself, Ocelot, Xenon, of course. Also, Joe and Jason are over there in the casting booth. They'll be able to answer your questions. Hashtag IEM on Twitter. Also, there's obviously Facebook, etc. that's out there. But hashtag IEM, the Intel Extreme Masters, is where we'll be looking at it. We're looking at it right now on my screen to see with it. But as it is, that's people are saying it's 6 a.m. in the UK, so a 30-minute game is actually okay, so they can watch it. And that's
Nice.
It gives them, just a nice short attention span. You don't need to concentrate. You don't have a. I mean, honestly, COG versus Moscow 5, you could probably get about 10 games in that time. You could just stack them through.
Yep.
Yeah. CLG games, you're gonna get, oh my god, I mean 5-6 games like this.
Also, let me ask you a quick question. You were recently at the Riot offices in Los Angeles, and you got to play a little bit with the Season 3 changes.
Ooh.
How do you think...
Not a little bit, I played a lot, actually.
You played a lot, yeah, I saw that. At our nice PC bong in the third floor. We have an authentic Korean PC bong. You saw it as well.
I have been there.
Yeah, it's great. So you've been playing with it. How do you think that the whole stalling strategy is going to be affected by these changes? Because I don't know if it's going to be so easy to do this anymore. There's going to be a lot more options in the mid lane. The global gold gain is going to be higher. You're going to be able to do a lot more things very, very differently.
Well, actually, I got a good example for this. Might be a little bit strange, but okay, in the nature, okay, if you make the butterflies disappear, okay,
Yes.
everything is gonna, you know what I mean. Everything's gonna break.
I have no idea what you mean.
Okay,
you like.
okay. So if you change something really small, but you change it like forever, and you just make it disappear, or for instance, the wraith change, for instance, is a really great change. It's gonna change everything. Not only what we can talk about right now, like I don't know, the mid laners not gonna be able to do it. The junglers are gonna be slower doing the jungle. Well, everything counts, and that snowballs the game so much. And in a game like League of Legends, which is like everything snowballs so much, and it's just so huge the difference you can get from minimum things, from really small things.
Yeah.
These changes are gonna change the whole game. It's like having an expansion, I'd say.
Well, that is exactly it. I mean, we were talking about this on the train here.
It sounded quite strange, as I said. It sounded quite strange, the butterfly thingy.
I know what you mean.
The
A butterfly flaps its wings,
effect.
the weather
Yes,
changes over
butterfly
there.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I know what you were getting at. But we were talking about it on the train here, and it was basically saying, it is effectively an update. It's the whole game patch. It's actually pretty nervy, I would have thought, for Riot themselves as well. I mean, this is a big change to the fundamentals of a game.
I talked to some of the designers who were working on this a couple of months back, and I was like, really? We're doing all of this?
In one sweep.
Let's talk about the one sweep really quickly, because Morello made a very good post on the forums about it. The only option to do this, if we want to change all these systems, we must change them all at once, because they're also interlocking. If you brought in the new items but didn't change some of the jungle stuff, then things wouldn't work.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Exactly. There would be lots of things that would be really, really broken until everything's in, so we have to bring in everything at once. But as I've been saying these days, for a couple of weeks after we make these changes on live, all the tournaments that are still going to be run on live, it's going to be the Wild West. No one's going to know what to do. And new strategies are going to come out of nowhere all the time.
The first month is going to be a rough time, and it's going to be time to find stuff that's just completely overpowered and try and get your elo as high as you can.
Yeah, that's true. But there is a good thing I liked from Riot. I was speaking with the developers and stuff, and they literally told me that things were gonna change in terms of we got this huge patch. A lot of things are gonna change. We are willing to change things right away.
Yeah.
And that is a really good thing, because that means that Riot is gonna have a close-up following, on what's going on. And they will make sure if something is unbalanced, that's gonna be changed for sure. I mean, they don't want the game to be unbalanced for like more than a week.
I mean, you don't want you're ruining your game. You don't want your bread and butter to be.
You don't want to have a Kathus for like 365 days, right?
And I may have sounded a little bit nonchalant about it. Yeah, we're doing all of this at once. There is a lot of risk management that goes into this. Behind the scenes, every little change that we propose, there is a little stat associated with it, which is like the risk level, how much impact does this potentially have? We track all of this, and we have a lot of like nightmare scenarios that we are sort of prepared for. Okay, this could go wrong, or this kind of thing could happen. So we have lots of ways to immediately step in and say, oh, okay, we need to tune this down, or we need to take this one out again. And you can believe me that the people who made all of this happen, all of our wonderful design team, they are going to be working overtime for quite a bit once this thing goes live, because we want to be able to react to everything very quickly. And I think we've shown that we can hot fix very, very quickly these days. So
yeah, I mean, if you think back to the Season 2 change, there was, I mean, you had the Masteries and Room Pages changes. They were pretty big sweeping changes in themselves, but obviously it's going one step past that. You're changing the actual map itself.
Yep.
The jungle, like you said, the items, obviously we've seen all these items coming out, so there's quite a lot out there that could change, but honestly, it probably needed it.
Yeah.
It's had that period where it's maybe you don't want the game to get stale. It never. I don't think it ever will, because there's a new hero every 2 weeks and new updates, etc. But you know, it brings a refreshing change to it, and it's like we mentioned, it's like an update for the game. It's it's a whole new add-on.
Yeah. And
Indeed.
there's only so much you can do with the weekly, with the every 3 week or so patches, or every 2 week patches, because if you want to do a big fundamental change, you don't do it in the middle of a season. That is why we are in pre-season right now, where you can do these big changes. And why the game wouldn't have gotten stale otherwise, I think there is a certain railroading in the meta game right now.
You start pigeonhole into that thing. I mean, the top lane's an issue right now.
Right,
it can snowball so badly.
Yeah.
The jungle's kind of like become a fixed... the way the jungle works.
I actually think top laners are gonna become more DPS-y, if that is the proper word.
Yeah,
you know,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I think that's a cool change, because the more DPS you have, the less tanky you are, and the less tanky you are, the less you can freeze, the less control you have. Same happens to mid lane. Control kills everything, in my opinion.
Right.
Control is something that can be shown when you're more skilled, but control, when it comes down to the viewer point, is not something you want to see.
So explain what you mean by the control.
Okay, so control, some games you might know already have a lot of control, which means like you can do a lot of stuff, but most of that stuff is defensive stuff. But the better you do it, the more difference you make against the opponent, you know? So the better you are, you can show it better with that control. So a good TF player, a good champ player, they can make a huge difference. You know, a good Karus player can make a huge difference, because your champions are done for control. You control your lane, you control all the lanes. It's all about playing good overall, okay?
Control the whole map,
Yeah. For instance, you got Khazadin. That champion has zero control. It's more like a crazy thing, you know? For the viewer, it's more like you're going to roam a lot, you're going to have a lot of 1v1 situations, you're going to trade a lot with the opponent. That is not control. That's more fun for the viewer, even for the player. Like, I'm loving the new patch. I cannot wait for the new patch, and that's what I mean. The control is what kills the fun.
So you're saying it's going to suit the aggressive players a lot more than the farmers.
I mean, everybody one-shotting everybody is not something fun, but there has to be
there's a middle ground.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, the season 2 was most likely all about control. We could see it in top lane, we could see it in mid lane, we could see it even in jungle. Not in bottom lane, because it was like so much bursty, but yeah. And that had to change, obviously. So right now we're going to have... You can have control of your lane with some champions, but if you misposition a little bit, if you have a wrong decision you're going to get so hurt by that, by the opponent assassin or whatever.
So the assassins are going to come back into it,
I think
which I think we've seen Freaks already talking about how the assassins are going to get back in there.
I really think so.
I'm looking forward to AD assassins coming back as well with the armor penetration change. We're changing it so that...
It'd be nice to see Talon and
Talon,
sort of
I love Talon,
coming back into it.
So the percentage armor reduction or penetration is going to be done before the flat now, which is of course much better, because there's much better synergy there. Or it's that way around. Yeah, it's that way around, right? Because that gives you more penetration in total. But Ocelot, even with all these changes that will bring assassins back, it's still not going to be enough for LeBlanc.
It is.
I
mean, I'm playing LeBlanc right now, and all my faith is on LeBlanc.
I would
love the champion I love the most, and the champion that fits me the most. I hope that champion is playable. Definitely, man.
That's someone you can definitely burst 100-0, no problems.
I love her, man. I love her so much, man. So much.
And actually, I mean, even with the changes she had recently were quite good. The ones where you can, the ulti would change a little bit, didn't it?
Didn't change
Well,
much,
no,
to be
what
honest.
you did with the ulti is that we track it separately from the normal W now, so
Yeah.
you can either go back to the normal W or to the ulti W, which
Mhm.
is adds more.
It's more a fun thing, I'd say.
well, I think you can mind game the enemy a little bit with that as well.
Mhm.
They don't really know where you're gonna pop back to. Actually, I see here there's one question that that I find quite interesting that was asked on the Twitter here. What is your opinion, Oslot, on Diana as a jungler? And well, he says considering that she doesn't really fit the meta, maybe you can explain to us why Diana as a jungler doesn't fit the meta at the moment.
I think it all comes down to how fast you clean the jungle.
Well, she's the fastest jungle clean at the
Okay,
moment.
okay. How fast you?
Mhm.
I'm talking. How
Sorry.
fast you clean the jungle, and sustain you got in jungle. Okay. Obviously, Diana's jungler is a good cleaner, I'd say. The sustain is not so good, I'd say as well, because if you 1v1 the open, imagine level 3, you're getting annoyed by a Lee Sin. What are you gonna do?
Right, not
You know what I mean?
Mm.
You got maybe the Q or whatever, but the Q doesn't synergize properly if you don't have the ultimate up
Yep.
yet. So at level 3 you don't have ultimate. How do you synergize the Q with? It doesn't
Nothing
work.
yet.
It doesn't work. And if you level up E, which is like what you are supposed to do, you lack on damage. I don't think it works. Everything comes down right now to how strong you are if you get counter jungle or how strong you are counter jungling.
Okay. So, without further ado, I believe this time we are going to have Jarrett Kale on the stage, and we are going to see the teams over on the stage. So, without further ado, let's get over to the main stage.